here we go. Let's get this party started. So, for those of you guys that are just hopping in, welcome to Living Liberated with the Brookses. I'm Glenn P. Brooks Jr. This lovely light-skinned woman is
Cherie A. Brooks Jr.
And we're live, y'all. So it's been a couple of weeks since we've been live on our channel. And so if you're new to the channel, I just want to say welcome. This is Real Lessons in Life and Business. That's the name of the channel. I'm Glenn P. Brooks Jr. I'm an author, I'm a speaker, I'm a coach. And about 12 weeks ago, if I can get my mic worked out, we relocated to Panama City, Panama. And we moved here from the U.S. Cherie and I both are authors. We've written 9 books between the two of us, and we've built a personal and professional development company that really has afforded us the opportunity, time-wise, to be able to do some amazing things in our life, one of which is actually move abroad. So, babe, we are here now, and I know that we've done some lives in the past and some videos, but I want to talk a little bit about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And as people are coming into the room, here's what I would like you guys to do if you can. Can y'all do us a huge favor? Can you share this link out to as many people as you know that are interested in living abroad, interested in travel? And we're going to do our very best to kind of help answer some real life questions that we've been experiencing since we've been here in Panama for the last 12 weeks.
Okay. Well, let's get into it.
So real quickly, just wanted to just kind of give you guys an introduction. When we came to Panama, to take you guys all the way back, there were some real reasons why we decided to move abroad. And the question became, why now? Why Panama? And there's a bunch of reasons, and you can go and look at the full videos on our channel. Just subscribe to the channel. Those are some videos that we did earlier on before we actually moved here. And a lot of it had to do with just peace of mind, being in a place where, quite frankly, you could think. You did not have to leave your house and wonder, if you were going to come home, especially if you're black and brown. The racial climate, all of the tension there politically was just tough. And then for your mental health, it just wasn't healthy.
Right. I struggle with anxiety as well as depression, and the pressures in the state, just the negativity, the constant violence in the United States was adding to my anxiety. And with COVID happening and being isolated during that time, it made things even more present because you ain't had nowhere to go. You didn't have nothing to do but watch the news. And it just made everything more heightened. And so for me, part of us relocating was for me to be able to find peace of mind, to get to a place where I could kind of recalibrate, could reset. And Panama happened to be that place. So we came here in January of last year, actually for our anniversary, to visit. I've been researching Panama for about 3 years. And we were supposed to actually come in January 2022. But because the COVID numbers were still a little iffy, we didn't come then. But when we came, I just fell in love. I felt at home. I felt at peace. And we made the decision to move here 5 months later. Yeah,
so we came and we stayed. And I know you want to share this out to some people and get this to some other social platforms while you're doing that. I'll tell people, when we came here, you guys, we came and we actually stayed in Casco Viejo, which is Old Town Panama. And we were there for about 10 days. Fell in love with this country. Those 10 days that we spent there, we used that as a hub, and we hired a private tour guide who has become our friend. He is a relocation specialist named Mike Kelly, and he runs a VIP travel community that specializes in expats who want to relocate to this country. He also specializes on helping you navigate health concerns, particularly if you have some issues that you come here with. He can help you navigate the health system here in this country.
Right, he'll connect you with medical providers, the hospitals that you need to go to. If you're veterans, he can connect you with your DAV here so that you can get all of the benefits that you need in order to make sure your health is taken care of when you get here.
So those are the things that he does. And so while we were here, just really quickly, for those who have not had a chance to watch those videos, and again, we've put them in, the link is going to be in the description when we're done with this live, but we can take you back to that. But the important thing was for us guys, Mike helped us to explore Panama in a way that we would not have probably had the opportunity to do it had we stayed on a resort or if we were just local to Casco Viejo for the entire 10 days. And so we actually saw probably, 8 properties, maybe 6 to 8 properties that we were considering to move to, sections of the country, sections of the city. And so we got a really good feel for where we wanted to be and why while we were here for those 10 days. But then when we moved here 5 months later, now here becomes your reality. So now, as an American moving to a foreign country that doesn't speak your language, you're now immersed into a culture and you're no longer on vacation. Babe, there was somebody recently that put something in the chat on Facebook, I think it was, and asked me, so it looks like y'all lives is a constant vacation. That's not true. No. You know, we're not retired. We work every day like we normally did when we running our online business when we were in the States. And so we do that every day. It's just that for us, when we walk outside of our house, it is really, 90 degrees. It really is palm trees. It really is mangoes falling off of trees in certain areas. But there's also some other stuff. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I don't really have a script here, babe, but I kind of want to talk about maybe 2 or 3 things that was just really good in the 12 weeks, would you say, that people should know about Panama? Maybe things you discovered that they just may not know. And if you can't think of 2 or 3, just give me one. I'll chime in and we'll go from there. This is not scripted, guys. We're just literally live. My wife will have a blank and she'll get stuck because she's thinking. And so I'm trying to help you out. Come on.
Thank you. So as far as the good, the number one good I would say is the people. The people are very welcoming. The people, although we don't speak Spanish and we're learning Spanish, we're trying to learn Spanish, they are very accommodating. And what I mean by that is that they will help you to try to figure out what you're saying. They don't get impatient with you because you don't know Spanish. But it's actually funny. I have this recurring thing that happens all the time because I'll attempt to say something in Spanish. And because I know it sounds funny to me, I'll start laughing.
Right.
And then they laugh with me. And
right.
then it's like, we're just, they laugh and then they'll help me understand. The one thing about that is that oftentimes they are so accommodating that sometimes you'll be talking to them and I think they really don't understand you. They just smile and grin.
Right. That is funny.
They're very pleasant.
Yeah.
They're not going to tell you, what the heck are you talking about?
Right. Or I don't understand or walk off. No.
They'll kind of stand there and just let you kind of fumble through it until they get enough that they can understand what you're saying. And so that's been a big plus because that was one of my concerns coming here because we don't know Spanish.
Right.
Although we had been, started trying to learn on some apps in the States. But we're now, like I said, we're 3 months in. So now when I hear certain things, I'm able to pick up on it when they're saying it. I still can't speak it, but I'm starting to understand it.
And I think that's good. So one thing Cherie said is the culture, or the people and the warmth of the culture. I got to say for me, one thing is that being here in Panama beckons you to come outside.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but the pandemic did a number on me in terms of my psyche. I'm normally an outside person. I love playing golf. I love swimming. I love going outdoors. I love getting out. I was a cyclist back in the day. Like, I love the outdoors. But that pandemic did something to my mindset. And it forced me in so long that I got used to being inside. And one of the reasons why we wanted to move to Panama, because the culture beckons you to come outside. I don't know if y'all ever grew up in that neighborhood where the kids were out at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, knocking on doors, talking about, can so-and-so come out to play? I was that kid. Like, I'm knocking on doors at 8 o'clock. They're like, dude, we're still asleep. No, so this culture is warm, the climate is warm, and it beckons you to come outside. And so for me, that's been a huge, huge plus.
Right, and so my second thing, because I do have 2.
Okay. We're getting some energy now. Let's get it. Let's go.
So is the abundance of fresh fruits and vegetables.
Oh my gosh.
There are markets every couple of blocks where, well, not even, probably every block. There's a fruit market. There's a place that you can walk to, particularly in the area that we live in. We actually live in the neighborhood of El Cangrejo, which is in Panama City, and this area is very walkable. A lot of the city, the communities here in Panama City are not as walkable, but we chose this area particularly because of the walkability, and so I can walk down the street and go to a fresh fruit market. We also found, I've been to the major produce market here in Panama that's outside of the city. I actually met an owner of a restaurant.
Shout out to Maritza and El Caribe.
Of El Caribe, and I went with her one Saturday when she went to go do her shopping for her restaurant to the major produce market where all the restaurants and grocery stores, everybody shops where they get all the produce. But I also found one locally that I'm able to go to that's not as large as that, but it's amazing. It's
For those that are not in the or they're in the city,
It's
San
San
Felipe,
Felipe.
is that restaurant, is that market, and oh my God, when you say fresh,
and it was so clean.
yo,
Oh my gosh. It
so
was
for all
so
y'all
clean.
neat and clean freaks, and you can't have stuff in disarray, that's the market
Right.
for you, because when you first walk in the door to the left. When you walk in the door, that's the meat side
The
of
meat side.
the store. But then on the other side is the produce. If you're from Baltimore, think what Lexington Market should have been,
Or used to be
or
long
used to
time
be
ago.
a very long time ago. And they say to me, it's become more now where it's just this environment where you can get fresh produce, fresh seafood, and the whole 9 yards. Now, San Felipe, you can't get seafood. You can only get meat,
Right.
pork, beef, chicken. But y'all,
Cow hoofs.
listen, when they say fresh,
Cow hoofs.
straight off the
The
farm.
whole thing.
Listen
The
to
hoof on the
me.
end.
Listen to me. Straight off the farm. I got loved and protected in the room. Talk about Lexington Market. Wow. Look, I'm telling you guys, this is straight off the farm. You're gonna walk through this grocery or this, and it's not
Market.
in a
It's a
grocery. It's a
market.
market, and you're gonna see whole hogs' heads in a thing, and you can buy it.
But they're fresh. So unlike in the States, a lot of times you can go to like international markets and they'll have like the whole hog. But they're sealed, they're wrapped. They've been processed.
These jokers were slaughtered this
No,
morning.
yeah, these are fresh. These are very fresh. The chicken still had a feet on them
Still, listen, have you ever seen a skinned chicken?
with the feet on
And the
them.
thing, and the feet still on it. So you can get it with feet or without feet, because there's someone that would love to listen. And I don't know what they doing with the cow's hooves,
I don't know.
but clearly it's a market because they have it and everything in between. So we're saying this because I think it's important for people to know this stuff is fresh and it's organic and it's unique.
Right, and the other bonus of this is that so when you go to these markets here, you can negotiate price. So like if you want to get, and the prices are cheap anyway.
Inexpensive
very
relative to
inexpensive.
most places in
Very
the U.S. Let me
inexpensive
say it that
compared
way.
to most places in the United States. I got I think $30 worth of produce, and I had 5 bags of produce.
Yeah.
5 grocery bags.
Like it was a serious
like
thing.
the recyclable grocery
Right.
bags, not the plastic bags.
Listen.
I had 5 bags of produce for $40.
Right.
And there's no way you're going to get that. I had mangoes. I had pineapple. We had
Zucchini and
onions,
cucumbers.
Cucumbers. I can't even think of everything else I had, but it was like I had so much stuff, and it was very reasonably priced. But you can negotiate price. Like so, if they may say the pineapple is $1.50,
Right.
you can say, okay, I'm gonna get 2. Can I get 2 for $1 each? And they'll do it. And so, because the thing is, because it's fresh,
Yeah.
they don't want stuff left over at the
Not
end
at
of
all.
the day.
Not at all.
Because they're getting it every day, so they want to get rid of it, but
They rather sell it for something super cheap
Than
not sell it at all. And so no, ain't no way I would be a veggie person.
ain't no way would be a veggie person.
Right. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something right now. If
We're
you
leaning more and more towards it.
listen, I'm telling you right now, one of the things that we love, about Panama is the availability of fresh produce. Here's the other thing, and I have to add this to the list. We're talking about produce, we're talking about food. Y'all, the eggs are not stored. Listen, you cannot buy eggs in a refrigerator here.
Oh,
So when you walk into the store, the eggs are not in the refrigerated section.
hold up, you got to pause. Let them figure that out.
They are on the shelf.
So if you think about fresh eggs come out of the hen, and they're in the chicken coop.
And they come out
They're
warm
outside in the heat.
all the time.
When you get fresh eggs, they aren't refrigerated.
Here,
What happens in the U.S. is because eggs are pasteurized.
they
have
need to be
chemicals
refrigerated.
Put into them.
They need to be
They
refrigerated.
need to be refrigerated. The eggs here don't have to be refrigerated.
So the neat thing is that they're not refrigerated. They're much fresher. They're darker in color. They're almost orange, the yolk instead of
yes.
yellow. So that'll throw you off. Best eggs on the planet. Amish. Think Amish.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
Loved and protected. That's absolutely right. Guys, by the way, and the chat is not staying up. So if you got a question, do me a favor, put it in the chat. I know Jackie just asked the
got a
question,
question.
what the negotiation, so Cherie's got it on her phone, what the negotiation process is. It really is being willing to barter. It's willing to be able to say, you know what, Can I get that for this? And they may say, no, 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 say no, no, no. And they may give you a number. And it's just about you getting the best number.
Yeah,
Now,
it's just simply asking.
for
it's
us,
it's not a going back and forth.
no, it really isn't. And I'm going to tell you, whatever you throw out there within reason, they're going to pretty much say, okay, here's what I've done. I am recognizing, listen to me carefully, y'all, that because we've left the U.S. and we have, by moving here, reduced our monthly outgo. Mm-hmm. Is that the right word? Yeah, what we pay out monthly. Our expenses. Mm-hmm. Probably by
about 40%.
About 40%. Okay? So if our household expenses were, let's just say they were $10,000 a month, and they weren't. By coming here, they got reduced 40%. Right. So for us, if we're used to paying $400 a month a week in groceries, I'm just making up a number. Not that that was what the number we were spending. If I'm paying $200 a month here, I'm already saving.
Right.
So what I often try to do in order to add value to the economy is pay the people's price.
And so,
if that makes sense?
Yeah, and also when it comes to paying, and this will also answer, the question was asked, do you buy and pay at the stand at that time or cashier? So you pay at the stands, but whenever you go to markets, whenever you go into any of the local stores, you always want to pay with cash. They are more willing to give you a deal if you're paying with cash. They do use the US dollar here, so you don't have to worry about an exchange rate, but they are more willing to give you a break. They're more willing to negotiate if you're paying with cash. When you pay with a credit card or a Visa or debit card, they have to pay that processing fee. They don't want to have to pay that processing fee, so they're going to charge you. They're going to add that on. They'll say that there's tax added to your charge. So if something is $20, if you have cash, you would just give them $20. But if you pay with a card, it's going to be like 22, whatever, once they add the tax. The tax is actually their processing fee for them having to process that credit card or that debit card. And so it's always easier, particularly if you're going to local vendors, if you're going into the more mom and pop type places, you want to pay with cash so that they don't have to incur that expense. And also it's going to save you money because you're not having to pay it as well.
Yeah.
And then they're also much more willing to try to negotiate with you on things like that.
Exactly. So the other thing that I want to say, and again, we're going down the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so for reference, we're talking good is we love it. We wouldn't change a thing. Give me more. One good thing I love about this place is the travel, being able to navigate the city. We don't have a car here.
Right.
When I get back to Atlanta, we have an event coming up October 13th and 14th in Atlanta. Is a business conference. We'll put the description in the link, or the link in the description below. But when we go back, we're going to stay in the U.S. till November after Thanksgiving. We got a couple of speaking engagements and some other things. But we literally, guys, are going to sell our truck. We gave away Cherie's car before we came. We're going to sell a truck that, quite frankly, a 2021 Dodge Durango that only has 20,000 miles on it, and we're going to sell that because we don't need it here.
Right.
And so one of the things that I love about this country is that navigating, particularly in the city of Panama City, you don't need it. Now, the Ubers are plentiful and they're super cheap.
Right.
So what would normally cost us a $20 Uber ride is probably $2 or $3,
yeah.
$4 at max to compare, right? So for us, and quite honestly, thank God for Omar, we have a guy that we have hired his company as a private tour. He owns a tour guide company, but he does private driving for people. And for a couple of hours, we can get him for really inexpensive. But the truth is that it makes sense for us not to do it. So you're not carrying, a car note. You're not carrying the expense of having a car and none of that. And if you ever drove in Panama City, you're gonna need some patience and some courage, because driving in Panama City, and I'm gonna go to the bad. Let's go ahead and switch to the bad. We talked about some good. There's a ton more good things I could say. But let me interject this bad real fast.
Oh gosh.
The traffic in Panama City is a situation. Now, by comparison,
it's not the volume.
Let me get through this, because I think I'm gonna say it and then you can add. Let me help y'all understand. Context. Panama, the country, has about 4 million people. Half of those people live in Panama City. So for context, half the population of the entire country lives in the city that we live in.
Right.
So think about that amount of cars going and coming, and now think about it from this perspective. They don't have nearly as many traffic lights. You are pressed to find stop signs. It's like a free-for-all. Now, to their credit, they don't have people out here balling at 70, 80 miles an hour zooming through. However, even at 40, 50 kilometers, that's fast enough for it to be scary. And they have rules even though we don't really know them. Because there's very few accidents that we see. I mean, they're only, okay, they got one rule. Don't stop.
Don't stop.
That's the rule.
Don't stop.
Just keep going.
Just keep going.
If it looks like, and so you can slow, but don't stop. And just, and then you wait, and then boom, and it's a whole dance. One of these days, I'm gonna take a trip. I'm gonna take a video, and I'm gonna do a time lapse of the traffic. It'll trip you out. So that's kind of a bad in one sense. And then the other part that will give you anxiety if you don't already have it.
Oh gosh.
Is the motorbikes that weave in and out of traffic. Oh my gosh,
right, so
that's a whole thing.
Right, so if you think about New York, where they
A
have the
stop sign
bicyclists.
is a suggestion. That's hilarious.
They don't even have stop signs.
Listen.
So there are no stop signs. There are very few
And
traffic
that's a
lights.
suggestion.
There are very few traffic lights. So if you think about New York, where you have the bike couriers.
Yeah.
Imagine them.
Bicycle.
Those are bicycle couriers. Think of them on motorbikes.
Motorcycles.
Mopeds.
No, they're
motorcycles.
no, these are motorcycles. They're
small
motorcycles, but they're motorcycles.
Running through traffic, weaving in and out of traffic, but they have this big box on the back because they're delivery carriers. So they're a lot of them, like, instead of having like
Uber
Eats and different, well, they do have Uber Eats, but they do it on a motorcycle, not in a car.
Correct.
So they zoom in and out of traffic.
And y'all.
And I mean,
y'all.
In and out of traffic.
Y'all, Evil Knievel
They're riding
lives
down the middle
in
lane
Panama.
of the traffic.
Listen.
While traffic is moving. And what we found out is that is legal.
It is
for
legal.
them. They have the right of way on the
Cynthia.
road.
Cynthia.
The motorbikes have the right of way. So
If you hit
a
one of them,
motorbike, you're going to jail.
Oh my God.
If you hit a pedestrian, you're going to jail.
Right.
So cars are, you have to, what is it? Offensive, defensive driving, what is it? I don't know, but you got to be. You got to
keep your head on a swivel
the whole time
because
there are motorbikes cutting you off.
It's hilarious,
and you can't hit them.
So we say all that to say, and
So
we're gonna go to the questions in the chat. We say all that to say, if you are going to own a vehicle, just know that you're going to have to get used to. And if you're not from a city like DC, where my wife is from, you're not from a city like Atlanta. Atlanta's traffic is far worse in the sense of the amount of speed and volume that they go.
Yeah, the traffic here is not fast.
It's not fast. It's just a
slow.
lot.
It's just.
And so I just wanted to make that happen. So anyway, what are some questions? We're talking about the good, the bad, the ugly. We were talking about good. We listed a bunch of things. One bad is the traffic, if you would consider that as bad. But talk to us. What are some questions?
Intoxication, Maryland. Hey, Marsha.
What's up, Marsha?
Ask how is the water? The water is fine. You can drink the water here. It's not the best tasting water. I mean, it's not nasty, but we're accustomed to drinking bottled water.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's better than faucet water in most places in the States. I will say that. But it does have a little taste to it, but you can cook with it. You can drink it.
Shower with it.
It's not going to upset
your
stomach or anything like that. They do have, you know, it's filtered. They do what they have to do with the water. So that's not a problem. I had another question. Has this been a total lifestyle change for you both? The lifestyle change, I think it's environment. It's an environment change. More than anything else.
I would say yes, it's been a lifestyle change for me totally.
Okay.
And completely. And I'm going to tell you why. For me personally, I had become sedentary in my lifestyle.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I gained probably 40 pounds over the 3 years of the pandemic from a sedentary life. Not just sitting and working, but not wanting to get up with a gym in my building.
Yeah.
I'm going on record to say, listen, I picked up more weight over the last 3 years because of the environment that I lived in. It didn't beckon me to leave the house. Here, I don't want to come home. Yeah. The only reason we didn't do this live outside is because it was raining. And we're in rainy season. And when you're in rainy season, I promise you, it can throw down at a moment's notice. Now, it comes and goes, it just stopped. But the point I'm making is complete lifestyle change. I have not wanted to get outside more in the last 12 weeks. It's been years, babe. This world, it's a different world for me, y'all.
Right.
And I could almost get emotional about it on how much I'm appreciative of a climate and a culture that says, I wake up in the morning talking about, can we go outside? Can we, like literally. And then by the way, when we moved here to El Cangrejo is the most walkable neighborhood in all of Panama City. Sidewalks, all of the things. But I will promise you, it looks a lot like the streets of San Francisco in the sense that we are literally right at the Panama Canal on one end, but literally you can see the hills rise from our balcony in the city that's going up a mountain. So to walk these streets, you're gonna get a workout, but it is a workout that is welcome because at this particular point, if you're in DC, think Adams Morgan. That feel, that cultural feel. You have every kind of restaurant that the international community can muster up, from Israeli to Russian to Pakistani to Indian food, you name it, you can find it here in El Cangrejo. And that's one of the things that I love about the walkability of this neighborhood.
Right, so what's another bad?
Another
So
bad.
You talked about the...
Okay, so let's get into some things, and now it's going to get interesting. And y'all can keep the question coming because I want to be real, but I want to be honest. Real, but I don't want to sensationalize it. So first of all, there are very few bads for me. But a bad we consider something that if I could change it, I would. And ugly is I want no parts of it. So we're going to get to the ugly. But for a bad for me, at this particular point, Cherie, would be the humidity. The humidity is going to take some getting used to. It's different. It's not Baltimore humidity where I'm from. It's not DC. It's not Atlanta. It's not the thick, heavy stuff. But I'm a sweater, and I can, listen, I don't need no help. And I'm telling you right now, you see what I'm wearing right now? Well, I also have a compression shirt on underneath. Not because I need to hold it in, but because if I don't, you would see the sweat dripping off my shirt. No, Cherie's laughing. I'm telling you, as a moment's notice, I can have sweat dripping down my back. So I'm telling you, it's a situation. Now, would I change it if I could? Yes, but it's not something that's a deal breaker for me.
Gotcha.
So I don't want to say to you now, if y'all, if ladies, if you got issues with your hair, and the humidity might do a little number to your hair.
Well, speaking of humidity, because somebody just asked, is it worse than Florida? It's different than Florida.
It's different than it's Florida-like, depending on where you are in Florida. Miami.
The difference is in the States is because you have so much pollution in the air.
That's true.
That adds to the humidity. That adds a heaviness to the humidity. The humidity here is not heavy. It's not like you walk outside and you can't breathe. You just walk outside and you're wet.
Correct.
Your skin will be down.
Right.
It's like, but it's
like,
not that heavy, poor air
oppressive,
quality
you can't
humidity.
Breathe.
Right.
It's not that.
Yeah, it's not
it's
like
not that.
that, which is what we're accustomed to in most places in the States because of pollution.
Right.
Because, I mean, there's greenery here everywhere. I mean, the air is very pure. It's very clean.
It's very clean air.
It's just humid. And right now, because it's rainy season, there's moisture in the air all the time. And so it's not, I mean, and I exaggerate when I say you walk outside and then you're wet. I mean, you will feel moisture if you stay outside for a long time when it's really hot. Now, for me, a bad, what is a bad? I don't know if I have any bads, really.
A bad is something you could change if you could, but it's not a deal breaker. So I can say that for you, a bad is not having a grocery store with everything in one store.
Yes, that's a bad for me. You have to go to, because they have...
Y'all see how I be helping as a husband? I need some kudos in the chat. I need some freaking, give me some thumbs up.
The bad for me is shopping, not just groceries, shopping period, because there are so many, there are probably 20 different grocery stores. Like I said, there are markets on every corner. Stuff is so spread out. It's so sporadic. You may go to this one place and they have one thing, something that you want but you go someplace that they don't have it. And so you'll find yourself having to go to multiple places to get everything that you want. And I still haven't found the grocery store for certain things. And I don't buy a lot of processed stuff, but it's limited convenience.
That's a great way to put it.
So it causes you to have to do a little bit more, where in the States I could go to one store, I could go to Kroger's and get everything I needed in one store. So here I have to go to the market to get my produce. I have to go to another store to get my household items. I have to go to Price Mart to get paper products. You know, I have to go to like 3 or 4 different stores. Now, that's when it comes to groceries. Now, when it comes to shopping for other things, for household items and clothing, I'm still confused because I don't know. They don't have any of the same stores that we have in the States. So
that's not true. Any?
Well, I mean, they have like some of the high-end stores they do.
Yeah, because you go to Multi-Plaza.
Multi-Plaza has some of the high-end stores we go to. But
absolutely.
for your everyday shop, I'm not going there every day. You want me to go to,
No. I don't want you to go to Multi-Plaza every day. Okay. So, for example.
For everyday shopping, like if I need to get household items, if I need to I just want to go get some workout gear or whatever, I'm still trying to figure out where can I shop because there are so many stores.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is Albrook Mall not a good solution for that?
Albrook Mall is the 2nd largest mall in the world. Do you know how many stores are in that mall?
So listen, I said that on purpose because I wanted to poke the bear. We live in visual distance. We can see the 2nd largest mall in the world is Albrook Mall. And they have a gazillion stores, but one of the bads for you is that there's no directory.
There's no directory.
So you don't get to go in this and see.
And look on a thing and say,
you got to walk that
You got to
puppy.
walk the whole thing. And then you got to remember the next time you come, which direction you went to go to the store that you went to.
Because
that you found the thing the last time. And then you go there and they don't have it the next time.
Now, we say that's a bad, but it's not a deal breaker. Because we have had some fun trying to figure this stuff out. Right. Y'all, when I tell you... Listen, Cherie, remember the last time we got lost in that mall and I had to FaceTime you and I was like, well, where you at? You was like, I don't know. And I was like, well, what store are you? I don't know, babe. I'm like, babe, you got to be able to. And then when you showed me, it was like, oh, we can't pronounce that. I don't know what that is. And then I don't know what that is in relation. So no, I get it.
Right. And so to go to the comments real quick, somebody said Amazon to you. So yes, we can get Amazon here. We can get packages shipped here. But there is an additional, you have to set up a mailbox here because this is a bad.
This is a bad.
There are no addresses.
So you don't have
there's no postal service in Panama. So nobody has addresses. To even do an Uber, you just put in your building name.
Yeah.
And so like if we're going to the mall, you put the name of the mall. If you're going anywhere that you're going to put the name of the business. Or if you're going to visit somebody in residence, you're going to put the name of
the street.
If you're going if they live in a condo, you're going to put the name of the building. If they live in a home, which we experienced this going to our attorney's home.
Oh, Jesus.
They gave us the coordinates, map coordinates to put in.
Like the latitude, longitude, latitude.
Into ways.
And it took it.
It took it, but it didn't take us quite there.
Y'all should have seen us trying to talk to
because there are no
driver,
addresses.
And she, God bless her heart, was trying
She had to call them. They told her the name of the street because they do have street names. But if you don't know what street connects to what street, that does you no good.
That does you no good.
And so, that is definitely a bad when getting around. But going back to the Amazon, like we can get packages shipped, but you have to set up a mailbox in the U.S., in Florida, have your packages sent there, then they get shipped here. So you have to pay additional shipping costs for them to get here.
Right.
So with that, I'm very calculative on what I'm ordering from Amazon because I'm not trying to keep paying extra fees. Even though I'm a Amazon Prime member, that I still have to pay the shipping from the U.S. to here.
Right.
And so you just have to be mindful of that when you are getting packages delivered to you here in Panama.
So really quickly, babe, for those people that just jumped on the live, first of all, I just want to ask you guys, if you have not liked or shared this or subscribed to the channel, please do it right now because we really want to get as many people in this who wants to know what we're talking about in this room. Come on.
So our dear friend Stephanie, who's here in Panama.
Hey, Steph.
Hey, Steph. And she was saying she's mastered Albrook. The key is remembering which entrance identified by the animal. That's right.
Yeah.
So at each entrance to the mall, there's a statue of an animal. So like when you
It's the elephant
the
entrance or the
elephant,
rhino entrance or the kangaroo entrance.
yeah, all the different things. So great tip, Steph.
Great
I have to
tip,
remember
Steph.
that. Appreciate that, Stephanie. So you got another bad?
A bad for me would be not knowing, okay, let me characterize it this way. Because if I could change it, I would. So that's what constitutes a bad. An ugly is, oh my God, I never want this to happen again. Okay, so I need you, like, let's not do this. Let me say all of this is being framed up by my American entitlement. Mm-hmm. So let me preface all of what I'm about to say to help you guys know I am very self-aware that as an American living abroad, I have grown up in a culture that's made me entitled to the way in which we do things. I will also go on record by saying it is not always the right way. In most cases, it's not. It's just a way.
Right. It's the.
I
the
will
American
also
way.
say that I came to Panama partly to immerse and emerge into this culture. So we are actively going through the growing pains of accepting a new culture and learning to live within it and everything that comes with it.
Right.
So when I say bad in this regard, it's with my American privilege that I'm saying it, not from a standpoint of saying anything negative about this country. I need y'all to understand it. So one of the things is not knowing all there is to know about the cultural norms when it comes to making a decision based on where you live. So for example, Panama loves its music.
Panamanians love
Panamanians are festive people. Listen, you cannot threaten them with a good time. This one right here,
It's a party every night.
it's a party every night, everywhere. Listen, y'all. Y'all know how in the U.S. it's only in the city that you're going to feel the bumpity bump bump, the this, that, and the third. No, not here. You can go out to Gorgona. You can go out to, Buenaventura where we were at. I can't remember the name of it. Listen, it's everywhere. It's the culture. And so be prepared to party even if you don't want to.
Right.
So as a person living in the city of El Cangrejo, the truth of the matter is that we live next to the University of Panama. In us living, and we'll probably take you guys out and turn the camera around, let you see it because it stopped raining. Y'all, they got a soccer field. By the way, football, not American football, but what we call soccer, is the #1 sport in this country, and it's a craze. They have a stadium at the University of Panama.
Right there.
Right there. Here's
Right
what
over
we
there.
didn't know.
We didn't know it was there.
And that the bank, y'all think HBCUs like to party.
No, we get the marching band serenades.
Listen, they like to dance. These
Daily.
jokers they play often, they play loud, they play for any reason, they play at any time. And when you wake up on a Saturday morning, get ready to salsa or rumba or do something. Because it will not be a quiet morning for you, ma'am or sir. So now I say that and we're kind of being funny about it. It can be annoying.
Right.
It can be an agitation.
Yeah.
But it's not a deal breaker.
Right.
I mean, I get it. And so at this point, what I'm finding myself is dancing a little more. What I find myself is smiling, saying, hey, Sheree, you know that song? You know that song? Dun, dun. And then they playing Western music, stuff that, listen, y'all, I'm telling you right now, we got to go to a football game. We got to.
Yes.
The announcers, oh my gosh, y'all think y'all heard announcers?
So in the States, we always talk about Telemundo.
Oh my God.
We got
Blah, 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 and score. And then they
that
talking
outside our window.
Spanglish. It's a situation, y'all. Y'all. But it can be annoying, but we get it. It's the culture.
It's entertaining.
It is.
It's
No,
entertaining.
it is highly
It's-
entertaining.
I think when we first heard it, the first couple times, I was like, what the heck is that?
Right.
What? Do you hear
And
that?
do
Is
you
that
know
a
what
marching
time
band?
it is? Like what?
But now it's almost like you hear it, but you don't hear it.
Yeah, you begin to understand.
Yeah, the games and they happen. The games aren't late at night, so it's by the time we're ready to go to bed, ended.
pretty much ended, unless it's Friday or Saturday.
Friday or Saturday, they might be a little bit later, but during the week,
that's where the after party starts.
right? But during the week, it's not that bad, and it's like white noise at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a bad, but again, we say the good is something that we love, we keep. The bad is something, if we could change it, we probably would, just for our own conveniences, not because it's bad. But then there's some ugly things that we have recognized that says, you know what? Kind of tough.
I'm gonna go to the
Kind
ugly.
of tough. So we're going to step our toe in the ugly, understanding once again that this is talking from a prejudiced cultural mindset of an American who is immersing himself to a culture that he knows nothing about.
And so let me say this. So
Please.
when he says this, we as Americans are very spoiled. Even the
100%.
poorest American.
Please say that again.
Even the poorest American lives a very luxurious life compared to a lot of people in other countries. And we are accustomed to a lot of things. The fact that, you can be, living in the projects and have cell phones. So let's just
start there. Let's keep it a buck.
Right, keep it a buck. So there are things that we're accustomed to. There are certain conveniences
Correct.
that we are accustomed to. And when our convenience is disrupted,
A little bit, Marsha. A little bit.
We're a little bit spoiled.
A lot of it.
A lot of it spoiled. And so there are things that are annoyances. There are things that, we may, they're not life or death issues, but we will give it the energy
Of a life and death issue. That's a good way to put it, babe.
issue. And
Yeah.
so I don't know if you want to.
Well, I'd like to get into it. So, as you guys may know, you may have heard that Panama is experiencing its own share of political and different cultural things that are threatening the quality of life of some of the Panamanians, many of us, or many of them. Many of us. I said us, didn't I? By the way, we haven't told them yet, but we started our process.
We have our temporary visas.
We have our temporary visa, so it's a whole thing. So anyway, but right now, and I'll say this, when Panamanians don't get what they want from the government, they have no problem at all, protesting and doing it loudly.
And the reason they do that is because the government actually hears them. The government actually responds.
And has been known to give up something to keep them quiet.
Right.
Right? Unlike where we're from, you can go right now, I guarantee you.
If you in D.C.,
go to the White House. I
people
promise you,
protesting.
there's somebody protesting about something.
Every day.
And ain't nobody paying them no attention. None. Zero. You understand me? Listen, very similar to France in that regard.
Right. They just hanging around.
However, the truth of the matter is, one of the things I do appreciate is that it gets stuff done.
Right.
The thing that's ugly for us is that it's like, okay, I don't know if I really want to look out my window and see tires being set on fire. Okay? That's...
And before you go to, and so when he says out our window, so it's probably like 2 blocks from us. We're on the 13th floor, so 2 blocks from us is the University of Panama, which is where a lot of these protests originate, because the college students are the socially conscious ones, and they're the ones that kind of get this stuff started.
They get the party started.
They get it started, and so they have been known to burn tires, to do different things.
Disrupt
the traffic, because there's like a major highway not that far from us, so they will disrupt traffic there. So prior to us moving here in Panama, we had seen on YouTube doing our research that they protest here. There are protests that are happening. They'll block the major highways, and they'll sometimes do it for days.
They did that for the gas price issue.
Right, because the gas prices went up significantly last year, and they protested for several days and stopped traffic coming in and out of the city on one of the major highways. And the government responded by actually issuing, giving concessions where they could get like a discount, subsidies towards their purchase of gas. So it works for them. The challenge is when we moved here to El Cangrejo, number one, we knew the university was near us, but no one told us
that this was the epicenter.
This was the epicenter of protests. And so since we've been here, there have been a couple of small ones, but there was a really big one today.
Oh my gosh.
And it was annoying.
Yeah, it was.
I understand why they're doing it, and I'm
Yeah.
supportive of why they're doing it. But in my mind, I'm like, do you have to be so loud?
Listen, let me go here for all y'all get on us and come for us. I'm not about to sit here and tell these people how to protest in their country.
Right.
That is not this.
No.
But we had to be real with y'all and let y'all know. And that's the question right there, Marsha.
Yes.
That's the question.
Yes.
The question is, amid these protests, do I still feel safe?
Yes.
And the answer to that is 100% I do.
Right. They're not.
Ain't nobody
destroying
looking.
property.
They
They're
not coming
hurting
for
people.
you. They not hurting
They're just
people.
voicing their.
Disgruntled opinions
Whatever
about
their
how
opinions
folk
are, right.
treating them, and they should do that.
Yeah, we're looking out the window, and their college students are walking past them going to class like it's nothing. I mean,
Why-
it's not. We don't feel.
While
like
the man
we're in-
riding down the street, babe, with the
the-
truck and the boom voice,
Right,
and they
the
just
megaphone,
going, they
right.
they walking by them going to class with their headphones on, like this is what we do.
Right, they're just voicing their opinion. They're just expressing themselves. It's not like we feel threatened or anything
Nah,
like that.
not at all.
It
Not
hasn't
at
turned
all.
violent or anything
Not
like
at
that.
all.
Now they did burn something today, and I know that
Set
that-
something on
set
fire.
something
Y'all
on
probably will
fire.
see that on the news.
And it wasn't like nothing, no whole big, a building or something
Yeah,
like
they're
that.
making a statement.
Right, they
And
did it to make a statement. Like they'll burn tires, just to make a statement.
they set a car on fire one time,
Right, they
a couple
did-
weeks ago.
Yeah, they did steal a police
They
car.
did steal a police car and set it
Set
on
it
fire.
on fire.
I bet you they got their attention though, didn't
I think
Now,
it
I'm not
did.
advocating no violence and all that. Don't come for us, y'all. We just wanted to be true to what we said, and we
Right.
would share the good, the bad, the ugly.
Right, but even in that, it's organized. Like that went on for about 3 hours, and now it's
And
completely
now it's gone.
quiet.
It's completely quiet.
Like-
Y'all don't hear a thing right now.
There's nothing going on. It's like they did what they had. They had their time frame. We're gonna be out here from here to here.
Yep.
They came out, they did what they did, and they're gone.
So let me go back really quickly
Mm-hmm.
to a good, because Marsha just posed a question. Do you feel prejudice against the fact that you're black? Cherie?
No,
Cherie?
no. This
Cherie?
is the first time.
Tell the truth. Stop lying.
So when we
Stop
came
lying.
to Panama, this was one of the things that I fell in love with. It was the first time in my life as an African American that I had ever been anywhere that I did not feel like a minority.
Facts.
Everywhere I looked, there are brown and black people.
Everywhere.
Panamanians are like African Americans. They
Everywhere.
come in every shade of the rainbow, and they are very much welcoming to African Americans, to Africans, to people who are brown
And I want
black.
to say a new term I learned today, black Americans.
To black Americans,
Yeah.
right, to black Americans. They welcome us like, hey cousin, come
Listen,
you
y'all.
home. You know, so it's very
It
much
really
similar.
is like your boy in Poetic what was my name? Cousin.
Right.
Well, y'all put the name in the chat.
Oh,
Well,
God.
I forgot his Tupac played him. Come on.
Right. So it's like, you know, you'll hear people talk about that, having that experience when they go to Africa a lot.
Yes, welcome home.
Going back to the motherland. But I've very much had that same experience here. And
That's
I've
true.
talked to other expats that are here, and we feel at home here. We don't feel like it's really strange because like even we were at the mall yesterday and we're walking around and we're looking like we don't see any Caucasian. We don't see any
Gringos.
gringos because they call Caucasians gringos. They call
Yeah,
They
they
call
call
them
us
gringos.
something different.
I forgot what they call
But we're not gringos. We're negringo, something. Anyway,
whatever.
the point I'm making is
But
they treat you like you family.
Right. You don't feel discriminated. There's no. I mean,
have not
everybody is
felt
telling me
any.
there's no discrimination here. Now I know there's race classism
There's
and
gotta
they got
be.
things like that.
Yeah.
But because of us, the color of our skin, no, not at all.
Not at all.
Haven't experienced it. Other expats I've talked to have not experienced it. That is the least of their concerns. It's more the Caucasians. The white Americans that will say that they feel some
Like,
discrimination
you'll have-
because they'll get charged gringo prices. They'll get
Right.
charged higher prices because they can clearly tell they're not Panamanian.
Right, but we ain't getting charged.
If I walk into a store and I don't open my mouth or I say very little, a lot of times they don't know I'm not Panamanian.
That part.
So depending on, and I've actually been mistaken as Panamanian. A couple of people, they've come up to me and started talking and I'm like,
No habla español.
so because we look like them and so
Absolutely.
we blend in and so you don't feel like a minority. Well, you're not a minority here
Yeah,
at all.
Cherie, one thing to that point, just real quickly, and y'all got to understand this. I don't know, other than Africa, I don't know if I've ever been to a country, well, Africa is a continent, let's get that straight, But in parts of Africa that I've been to, I get it, right? Because everybody looks like you. I didn't expect that here.
Right.
And that was really weird because we came here in January, we went to Multi-Plaza Mall, which, let me just say a quick aside. Y'all, the malls here are like they were in the US 25 years ago.
You can go to Tuesday in the afternoon.
Where
it's
you could go on a
packed.
Tuesday afternoon and there's no holiday going on and the mall is packed. That's the case here. It's not the case in the US. So we go to Multi-Plaza Mall, which is a higher end mall in San Francisco. And here's what's funny to me. We sat on the bench and we was like, wait a minute, hold up. Everybody around here look black and brown. And more importantly, you looking like them. And they looking at you like they know you. And I swear, y'all, every time I go outside, I swear I see somebody I know. I swear it's like, wait a minute, hold up. Ain't that? There are people I'm looking at, they could go for my cousins, like my blood, like that looks like my cousin so-and-so. So I think that for us, that is a very real feeling of warmth and acceptance, even though you don't speak the language. You don't feel like you're ostracized from the culture. And that we absolutely love.
Right, and Jackie just put in one day, she wanted us to touch on why many Panamanians are black and brown. We're gonna talk about that diversity in another video because I wanna really give you some facts on that, but know that there is a large African diaspora here in Panama.
And for
but
real
we'll get
reasons.
Into that
we'll get into that.
in another video where I can really break that down to you guys to understand
and give you some facts why that is.
But that's through Latin America, all of Latin America.
Yeah.
That's not just here in Panama.
Yeah, and so just so that you guys know, and this is one of the last things we'll say, we're gonna get ready to get out of here. We just wanted to be on about an hour. First of all, thank you. I appreciate you. Marsha, we miss you and Damien. The kids are growing up so fast. I miss my light-skinned folks, because they was always Team Cherie, you know. Us chocolate people, Jackie, we gotta stick together. So at any rate, and I love the banter. I miss y'all immensely. Y'all need to come visit us. But here's what we wanna begin doing, y'all. Cherie and I are creating experiences. And I wanna know from you, we're gonna be polling you guys on, if you've ever heard of Panama, why haven't you visited? Okay? Because you'll come to Costa Rica, or you'll go to South America. Colombia literally is a 45-minute flight from where we live.
Yep.
Costa Rica literally is an hour flight the other way. Why does Panama get passed over so often? What is it about it that has not caught your attention? And would you consider coming to visit? I'm going to say this a lot because I think we're going to turn this into some kind of brand. But I want you to come taste and see. Taste and see. Come experience what you haven't experienced. And then you be the judge of, is this work? Because see, one of the things I will tell you, people go to Costa Rica for the mountainous ranges, for the waterfalls, for the outdoor pool, the beaches, particularly on the Caribbean side, that are crystal water. Everything that I mentioned, you can get in Panama. Some of the best surfing in the world is done here. Some of the best scuba diving in the world is done here. People will come here if you like shopping. No free trade place in the world bigger than Cologne.
The free trade zone.
Bigger than that might be Hong Kong. Like, it is ridiculous. When we went shopping there, y'all, I'm telling you right now.
It's a whole city.
It's a whole city. Changed my life. Like, I'm like, bro, here's what's crazy to me, though. Nobody knows about that stuff. And so we want to really create some opportunities where you guys can come taste and see and figure out what does it look like for you to live liberated. Because that's what we're doing. We picked up and we moved here because we realized that the kind of business we did, we could do anywhere. So why not do it in a place that wanted you here, or do it in a place where you could thrive, do it in a place where you could increase your quality of life? Because I'm going to tell y'all something right now. You eat a mango here. Y'all, they got me eating avocados up in this piece. I hate, anybody that knows me knows, I can't, never.
And he's eating watermelon.
Never liked guacamole, anything with avocado in it. You can keep that, miss me with that. And watermelon, y'all don't want to hear my story about why I stopped eating watermelon in 1986. Yes, I did. I had an experience with watermelon. We won't talk about that here. That caused me never to want to pick it up again. You can't find watermelon here, baby, without seeds.
Right. Yeah, there is no seedless anything here. It's all natural. It's
Anyway,
no
so
GMO.
as I just went
And
on my little rant,
with
go
that,
ahead,
going
babe.
to end this on a good note. That's a great place to end. So that's another thing that I'll say that is a great thing here. The plethora of fresh fruits and produce, but the quality
Yeah.
of the food.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The produce, the meat, everything. It's fresh. You're not getting the super processed stuff. Now, yes, they go through, they do, they farm it, so they use things to farm, but you're not getting all of the extra additives that we get in the food in the U.S. You're
Nope.
not getting GMO anything.
Nah.
Everything is coming straight off of a farm. And so just that alone has improved our quality.
We haven't
of
even
life.
talked about the healthcare
right.
in this country.
Oh, yeah. Healthcare
so-
is another bonus.
And don't mess around and be a veteran. Oh my God.
Right. And so, I mean, just to come visit, I mean, there are so many things, and Glenn touched on it. There are so many different climates. There are so many different environments here in the country of Panama, from the beaches to the mountains to
Yep.
in between, everything in
Yep.
between. You can experience that here. They have the waterfalls. I mean, it's a beautiful place, and we've only scratched the surface.
That's it.
Of things to do here, but we plan on getting out and traveling the different parts of the country. as
Speaking
much
of
as we
getting out,
can.
would y'all like to see off our balcony and how green it looks and how lush it looks? Give me a couple of yeses or a thumbs up in the chat before we leave. You think we'd like to end them with that?
I don't know, but you just cut me off.
I'm
now. I
sorry.
lost my train of
Babe, I'm
thought.
sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just thought it was
But
vibing.
you guys want to come and I want you guys to come and experience this. It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying for everybody to come and move here, but I mean, I think just being able to experience, and the culture is so rich here.
Yeah.
They have such a rich culture here. The indigenous tribes,
my
you get to meet the
gosh.
people from the indigenous tribes, and it's just very rich in culture, and the people are just lovely.
Yeah.
I just love the people. They're just so pleasant. There's no negative. It's like they don't have a negative bone in their body.
Yeah,
I mean, everything,
they just,
you know.
they're always upbeat, a humble person.
Even when you have I won't even say a disagreement. Like, we had a situation with the building management today because there was a situation that happened with another tenant. And the way she handled it, it was
we will,
so,
Jackie. We're going to show you the video.
it was so, they're polite.
Yes.
They're very polite. They're very, and I don't want to say accommodating, because it's not like they're not
They're not
bowing
bending over.
down
Yeah,
to you.
yeah, no.
They're just very pleasant, and
Yeah.
that's something where they're very hospitable.
That's the word.
And it's more
That's
than
the word.
it's more than even, we always say in the South people are hospitable. They take it
This
to
is
another level.
Yeah, this
here.
is, and it's the whole country. So it's
Yes.
not just the South.
Right.
Babe, let's show them the video.
Okay, let's show
So
them.
Cherie's gonna go open the door, and they can still hear you while you talk. So here's the
Okay.
deal. First of all, welcome to our home. Okay, y'all see the artwork that
That's
the
from the indigenous tribes.
Yeah,
Artwork from the indigenous tribes.
Let me go show.
I
Real quick.
purchased the mask.
So
and,
Cherie purchased the mask. That is from the indigenous tribes. They made it here.
And I can't pronounce the name of the indigenous tribe, so I'm not going to try to say it, but I'll try to put it in the comment, in
Right.
the description. And these are some prints that I made. These are all handmade. And so this is my little toucan.
Right. So we got that. We got this guy.
We don't know what
We don't know what they are. We don't know.
what he
We don't know
is.
what he is.
But he was cute.
He was cute, so she bought him, and she mounted him. Her and Deidre.
I framed them and mounted
Many of
them.
you guys know that our co-parents are our best friends, and so my ex-wife was here along with her husband 10 days for about 10 days.
Yep.
And they also came with us when we visit. I see it when we visited.
You showed him.
Okay. Oh, my bad. I'll show them in a minute. So we had an opportunity to. They went shopping and enjoyed themselves together. So here's the view. Here's the view. This is downtown El Congrejo, Panama, right? And if you notice out in the distance, guys, you've got the forestry. Cherie, go ahead and point up at the top. There you go. All that's the jungle. It's a national forest, and it is protected. And you're not gonna. Monkeys are there, sloths, you name it. When we talked about Albrook Mall being here, if you go really quickly, Cherie is pointing. Your finger's not in the frame, babe. It's okay. There you go. All right. So it's okay. So right here, really quickly, guys. She's trying. Those rooftops that you see, that's
yellow.
Albrook Mall. The
The
yellow
yellow.
roofs and all that. It's the second largest mall in the world. Okay? If you see those cranes, that's the Panama Canal. Okay? You see those hills over top, Jackie? Toucan Golf Course, one of the finest golf courses I've ever played in my life, is just over that ridge. If you look down below, that's the University of Panama, right there. All of that right there. All of that's the University of Panama. Really quickly, you see the flag hanging, highest point in Panama City.
And Con Hill.
And Con Hill. And so that's a tourist attraction. It's a place. Just over there is the Pacific Ocean. If we were on the other side of the building, we could show you the ocean. We can't see the ocean itself, at least from our view. We can go up on the top floor.
But it's right past
But
the
it's just
building.
past those buildings. We can go up on the top floor. So yeah, this is what it looks like, guys. So I hope this helped. Cherie, any last things you want to share before we roll?
No, I'm glad we made the move.
I'm glad we made the move. Guys, would y'all be interested in coming and taste and see? Taste and see what you come up with? Would that be something of interest of yours? Huh? Because if so, we want to put some things together, particularly for couples who are trying to figure this thing out and trying to reclaim their life again and get back to a sense of normalcy and being able to do all the things. At the end of the day, y'all already know what time it is, many of you. You can't get to any place of significance by yourself.
The birds are coming.
Here come the birds. Oh, by the way, El Cangrejo has some of the most interesting birds in all of Panama, guys. They come through. All of the trees have birds living in them, different species. It's just crazy. Marsha, listen, we got to get you guys down here. 4 years to retirement. Listen, come taste and see to see if this is a place you'd love to come to and live. We can take you on some tours, investment property, all of the things. We've got people, y'all already know us, we building the teams. And so the folks that we're gonna help us deliver some of these incredible experiences for you guys, we're befriending, we're networking, we're doing all the things, and they think we're rock stars, by the way. Many of the people, they've watched our YouTube stuff, and they're like, oh my God, like what do you wanna do and how can we help? And so we're going to leverage all those relationships because y'all know that at our core, we're relationship generated. This is about transformational experiences that will make a difference in the rest of your life. Y'all be good. Appreciate y'all. Until the next time we go live, we're Glenn and Cherie Brooks Jr. and we're living life.
Living liberated
Living
with the Brooks.
liberated with the Brookses. I got that all wrong. We're going to get it together. It's a new thing.
Have a great day,
Y'all
guys.
be good. We'll talk soon.